Awesome. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Monday afternoon for myself, morning for Trevor, maybe evening for some of y'all. But yeah, hey, everyone. Thank you for joining, Trevor. How are you doing?
Yeah, good to be here. I'm doing great. Yeah, just enjoying my morning, sipping some coffee,
Yeah.
and happy to be on stream with
Yeah.
y'all.
Awesome. Yeah, I am equally as happy to be here. We have a lot of great things to talk about today. However, we only have 1 hour. We kind of have to wrap this up a little earlier today than we do sometimes. Sometimes it only takes an hour anyway. But yeah, we've got a lot to cover, so I won't spend too much time in our introductions and all that fun jazz. But yeah, did you do anything interesting this weekend?
Just kind of got some work done on my my side project
Nice.
that I've been working on, and I made sushi for the first time this
Awesome.
weekend.
How did that go?
That was fun. It was good. It was easier than I expected. My seaweed was a bit stale, so as a result, it kind of gets leathery and hard to cut.
Interesting.
So it really went well right up until the time
And
when I had
wrap
to
it?
like cut the roll
Got
into
it.
like um into smaller
Yeah, yeah.
pieces, and then the knife was a hard time getting through the seaweed.
Gotcha.
But but yeah, no, it was fun. It tasted good
That's all you can
and
ask for, right?
success.
Yeah, that's awesome. Success.
How about you?
I had a pretty awesome weekend. Not gonna lie, it was really good. I was riding that GraphQL Summit high. Did a couple things. I hung out in bed in the morning with the kids. They watched Into the Spider-Verse. On that was Sunday morning. We were supposed to watch it Saturday night. Ended up watching it Sunday morning. I wrote a blog post, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit, about Summit and kind of what went into making that happen. I streamed. I got some work done on Self-Defined app for Self-Defined Saturdays. It's an app I've been a side project I've been working on. And then, I mean, just a lot of time hanging out with the family. It was pretty rainy, so we just did a lot of indoor activities, made a fort. Yeah, just did some fun stuff like that. Yeah, it was cool. It's good times. Yeah.
Nice. I gotta say, this might be a hot take, but Into the Spider-Verse might be one of my favorite animated films like ever. It's a cut above. It's like,
so good.
if you want to talk about animated films post 2010, it's probably like it's in a league of its own, in my opinion.
Yeah. So in my opinion as well, it is the best animated movie that has been produced outside of the anime genre. There's a couple like animated anime movies that I think are better, but as far as like a major motion picture animation movie, it's the best one that has ever been made.
Damn.
I love it.
Okay, that's I like this. You got strong.
I have very strong opinions.
I would like. Okay, I want to clarify this, what you just said. Would you include like Studio Ghibli movies in the category of anime, or is that outside of?
I don't really know. So to me, like, so basically what I'm talking about is like, I guess what we'll call like Hollywood produced like animated movies, right? So like if it's not from like Pixar or like, you know what I mean? Like one of these like major US based animation studios is really what I'm getting at. Yeah. And yeah, so as far as that goes, like breaking the mold of like what has been done as far as animation, like the way that it's animated, the animation style is like new and refreshing. The plot is like second to none. It touches on a lot of very interesting subjects about like self-worth and like believing in yourself, and a lot of things that I think are really good messages for kids. It's like, I don't know, there's just like a lot of things that I really love about it. It focuses on Miles Morales as opposed to classic Peter Parker, which is also a big thumbs up in my opinion. The mixing of the universes and bringing in all of the different type of Spider-Man characters is just like, come on. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know what else I could say. It's just like, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. And if you don't agree with me, you could go live on an island with all the other people who are not in agreement with me because it's the best movie ever.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily cast you away,
Yeah.
but I do invite you to fight me
Yeah.
if you agree, or if you disagree. I think just from a technical standpoint, if you look at like how the movie was achieved from a technical perspective is mind blowing. And like they had to create new shading engines from scratch. They had to like write software specifically to render the movie in the way that they wanted to do. And it was a goal of a stated goal of the creators of this movie to make it so that they could take any frame of the movie and it would look like a frame out of a comic book. That meant like no, that like every frame has to be sharp. It has to be
perfect.
Like look like it was printed, and I thought that was really
exactly
cool.
You can pause the movie at any scene and like it's a desktop background or like something you would print and hang on your wall. It's just visually stunning from the very first scene all the way through to the last. And then I love how they would put the thoughts kind of like in the comic book style of like lettering and stuff like that. And like, it's just like everything. There's like, it was like a digital comic book, like a comic book movie, which is what it is. All right, enough. I could talk about this all day, so I'll stop it there. We'll cut it off there. But needless to say, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it, and let me know what you think, because I love it. I'm such a huge fan. I could watch it every day. We watch it about once every 2 to 3 weeks. So
one in the chat if you're as big of a Spider-Verse.
Yeah, right. Hit us up. Let us know. Yeah.
All right, let's get into some GraphQL news, shall we?
Yeah, let's actually dive into some stuff. Okay, so real quick, actually, I'm going to do one quick derailment. This first link here is technically not GraphQL related. However, I do feel like it is worth sharing. Let me transition us over and let me load this URL up. Jason Langsdorff and Sarah Drasner have created a limited edition Night Owl. So if you like the Night Owl theme, I'm a big fan of this theme. I like it. They've created a Night Owl themed t-shirt, but a lot of the proceeds up until August 31st are going to Black Girls Code. So if you buy one between now and August 31st, then you will be supporting Black Girls Code. So I just wanted to drop that in here real quick since we've got the space, and I wanted everyone to know about this. So I'm just trying to boost this platform. I've also said that I will. I have a tweet. I'll tweet about it again later on Twitter. But I said that I will match 5 t-shirt purchases also next week. Because when I get paid, I'm going to buy my own, and I might as well as buy 5 more for people who can't afford one, who want one. So if someone goes and buys and matches and shows that receipt, then they'll get. I'll purchase one for somebody else. Up to 5 t-shirts.
Nice.
Yeah, we've already got like 2 or 3 done, so I'm only matching 2 more, folks. So go ahead and grab yours and get it in there. And then actually maybe it'll show up in my notifications where I said that I'll do it. Here we go. Only 5 days. So I'll drop this one and the link to this in the chat as well, so that you know where to go if you should purchase and want to share your receipt with me. Boom.
How do we know who gets the matched shirt?
That's a good question. So as I've said here, I'll just post below with shirt sizes, and I'll pick the folks at random. So I'll just like run some little script to make it random and pick folks.
Cool.
Yeah, right? I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. Just keeping it, kind of simple, straightforward. Okay, so we're going to cover 2 other things. We've got 2 things here from the one and only Marc-Andre. Apparently, he's been busy. So let's go ahead and dive into those. So I'll drop the link here in the chat as well. And let me flip us back over. Yeah, and so we've got a new post, a guide to GraphQL errors. I have not read it myself yet. I am actually going to read it tonight. But let's just do like a real quick little breeze through. Oh, nice.
Cool.
I love this. Ah, yes. I love seeing
What's
this
up?
pop up
Oh,
everywhere.
hey.
Yeah, this is starting to pop up everywhere. Oh, hey, new follow. Look at that. Yeah, awesome. I missed who it was. I don't know if you caught that or not, but we just got a new follow.
I got you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just gonna cover like GraphQL errors at top level, um, and it's gonna go through. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So then it looks like it covers different stages of errors, and kind of like how to deal with that, and like what the problems, pros and cons are of like handling errors in these different ways. It's interesting. I like this. Yeah. So definitely dive into that. Take a look at that if you get some time. I'd love to know what people think. Yeah, looks pretty interesting to say the least. And then
Yeah.
as a follow up to that, this I'm really excited about. It's got two people that I'm excited about. And it looks like there's going to be a new GraphQL .fm. So essentially, it's like a podcast / stream. So I think they'll be streaming the podcast as they record it. But Mark Andre and Tony Gita are going to be doing. So he works at Twitch. He does a lot of the GraphQL backend work there for Twitch.
Yeah, he was just on our stream.
He was just
last
on the
week,
stream.
right?
Yeah,
Or
it was
a
like
couple weeks
it
ago.
was about 2-3 weeks ago now. It's like weird. I'm losing track of time. But yeah, it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, amazing stuff. That stream is on YouTube. If you want to check it out, definitely go to the Apollo channel, and you can probably search for it. It's just GraphQL and Apollo Client at Twitch. It's an amazing stream. We had 3 guests from Twitch come on. We had Theo, Tony, and Ben, and then we also had Ben Newman from Apollo come on as kind of like a that expert from the Apollo side. It was a really awesome panel, and they just talked a lot about like what goes into building Twitch and how they take advantage of Apollo. Very cool stuff. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. GraphQL.fm. I can't wait to see what comes from this. 2 amazing people going to be putting out some podcast content. And I know I'll be joining the streams. So we've got, here, let me see if I can copy this out. Twitch.tv, GraphQL FM. So you can go ahead and follow them right now, and you'll be good to go. Oh, that kind of, oh, it's a broken link.
Oh no.
Because there's
You
no,
missed a colon.
Yeah, you missed the
Crucial
colon.
colon.
Oh, so important, that colon. Actually, it would have still worked because it still has the Twitch TV / GraphQL FM. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
but it did not work here for his suite. But hey, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But yeah, so that looks super awesome. So I don't know about you. I am a fan of podcasts. Actually, I was just talking about this with a friend of mine. One of my new favorite things is early morning runs or bike rides where I listen to audiobooks or podcasts. So I will definitely be queuing this up. Yeah.
I can definitely attest to that. It's there's something nice about I when I was in my like phase of the kind of like the longest distance running routine that I found myself in. I was going out on a run with hour and a half podcast every time, and basically it would be cut into 2 sections, and it would be like 2 45-minute long stories.
Yeah.
And it would basically represent. It worked out well in my head because I would listen to one story on my way out,
and then
when that story ended, I turned around and came back, and so it worked out really, really well. I would get 2 full stories, go out for an hour and a half run, and yeah, it made the time fly by. It was really, really nice. But what kind of podcasts do you like listening to when you work out?
So honestly, it's less about like the type. My types range across many different things. What I find myself listening to most is either along the lines of informational or self-help, stuff like that. So my latest series that I listened to was called Seeing White. It was an amazing podcast series, just like talking about kind of white Reactness in America and honestly like kind of globally. And it was really awesome, like from Seen on Radio. They have a lot of good stuff Seen on Radio. But yeah, it was good. It's like 14 podcast episodes, each one like an hour to an hour and a half, so a ton of content. But lately I've been doing more audio books. I have a hard time finding like podcasts that I like to follow from, say, start to finish. One that I do listen to very regularly is the React podcast. So I'm not sure if anybody else listens to that. But that is one that I listen to basically every single episode. Here we go. So let me get the link. So this is with Michael Chantastic. Yes. Hang on. Let me just do this. Let me drop this link into the chat as well. I am messing up your last name, Michael, and I apologize. And why are you not showing up? You should be showing up. Sorry, I'm just looking on Twitter right now. I could flip over, but React Podcast. So you can follow them on Twitter. Yeah, here we go. Chantastic. That's why, because it's just Chantastic on Twitter and not. But his name is Michael. So yeah, so definitely check that out. It's a lot of good fun. He's got like hundreds of episodes, and really it goes like beyond just React. It's called React Podcast, but at this point, they talk about a lot of different things. Like, it was awesome. So like Paris Athena was just on for Black Tech Pipeline. Even Alex came on to talk about their book Learning React. Let's see, who else? Oh, The Business of Remix, like with Ryan Florence and Michael Jackson. Just a lot of stuff. Joel Hooks came on talking about building egghead.io. So it's just like very cool. Like he talks to a lot of different people about a lot of different subjects. So it's one that I can like, and I just love his voice. It's a pleasing voice for me to listen to. And then I just like,
that's important.
It really is. Certain voices you either like or you don't like. And, I've had people be like, try this podcast, you're going to love it. And then I listen to it and I'm like, ugh, I just can't do this for the duration because I'm just not feeling the voice. That happens, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like it. I like his no bullcrap attitude. He just like lays things out. He's very candid. He's a very candid person. And so I feel like the conversations that are had are definitely very open, and it's not like, it's not like an interview. Like it doesn't feel prepped in any way. The conversation just kind of happens organically and goes where it goes with like a rough guiding light. And yeah, so I thoroughly enjoy that. So if you haven't checked it out,
couple good recommendations.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Here it is. Check it out. It's definitely good. And then one thing I've been getting into, I can't remember the name of it, I'm not going to go look it up, is something about like economics, which is just like talks about the history of economics and how economics affects our world. And they go into a lot of stuff about...
Is it called Freakonomics?
Freakonomics, that's the one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love Freakonomics.
Yeah, and so that's a really good one. And like I said, like I don't listen to every episode of that one though. I kind of like dive into certain topics I find interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then like a lot of the other stuff is audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks. Yeah. Nice. Lately I've been
It's funny that when you
go ahead.
When you mentioned Michael Jackson on the React podcast, I didn't even like I knew which Michael Jackson you were talking about, and it didn't even like register that it wasn't, or like that. Of course, it's like the first Michael Jackson that came to mind was like
Michael Jackson,
web development Michael Jackson, not the singer Michael Jackson.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, not to be confused. Web development Michael Jackson, not Thriller Michael Jackson. Just to clarify.
Yes.
Yeah. So all good stuff. But I have found that I'm now dividing like reading books between audio and physical. So like, because I don't have a ton of time. So I'll like right now I'm reading a book called Good Strategy, Bad Strategy. Right. So I'm reading this one. And I'm also reading We Should Get Together. These are like my two books that I'm reading right now. And but like it's hard to read them all, so I'll listen to them as well while I'm like running or riding, and then I'll pick back up in the physical book where I left off in the audio book, and like vice versa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How do you find that working?
Great. Works great.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Works easy peasy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not. It sounds. It's like kind of unintuitive at first. When you first mentioned it, but it might work exceptionally well.
It works pretty well. The hardest part is picking up in the audio book where I left off in the physical book. I try to end on chapters as much as I can, which makes life a lot easier. Sometimes I hear repeated, like, a couple pages, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's essentially the jam right there. That's what I do. What about you? You got any podcasts you recommend for folks at home while I go grab our next link?
Yeah, I'll just mention. I mean, everybody's probably heard of Radiolab.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of Radiolab, that's a good one. They've probably got like 300 episodes at this point. So a huge selection of topics and really, really interesting stories. And then the other one that I'll mention is Hardcore History, which you might maybe have heard of out there, but Hardcore History is an amazing podcast about interesting historical events narrated by Dan Carlin, who is an outstanding storyteller. And to your point before, like, he's one of those voices that I could listen to him talk about anything, and it would be really interesting.
You can talk about
Hardcore History. If you want to get started, I would recommend checking out their podcast about the Mongols. And then the other one is called Blueprint to Armageddon. It's about World War I.
That's awesome. Drop a link in the chat if you could find it real quick, because
Sure.
I'm sure people would like to check that out. I know I would. And while you're grabbing that, I'm going to flip over here and drop this link in the chat. So the next item on the list, because it's related to what we're going to talk about next, which is like GraphQL Summit Week 2 recap, I wrote a blog post, actually the one I was talking about, that I watched, or I wrote on Sunday morning, and it's called Creating Community for Online Events. And this just is kind of like a bit of the behind the scenes of what went into creating GraphQL Summit worldwide. So it's not a how-to guide. As I mentioned this yesterday on my stream, the how-to was really largely driven by Demetrius Clark, who was our community consultant. And so if you want the how-to guide, definitely reach out to him. He'll help you get set up. He's actually looking for his next conference to help somebody build a community for, so definitely reach out to him. But this is more about essentially what our goals were and then how we went about meeting them. And so it's a really interesting read. If you like it, I kind of just talk about the things that we were looking for, and then how we went into bringing those to life from a high level perspective. So yeah, definitely worth a read if what goes into getting conferences going is your thing. And yeah, so check it out. Yeah, or don't. It's up to you. It's fine. I have no analytics. It won't hurt my feelings. It's out there if anyone stumbles across it. If not, it's there for me.
There you go.
Yeah, and I think with that really brings us to our last item. We're doing great here. We're really cooking. We're like perfect. We still have
Crushing it.
Yeah, like 30 minutes.
By the way, I dropped the link a little while back. You were mentioning the Twitch on Apollo on Twitch stream.
You dropped a link to that?
I dropped a link to the YouTube video of that,
Nice.
but I might have got lost in the sea of links previously, but I just dropped it again in there. Definitely
Perfect.
open that up in a different browser tab, and hit pause on that, and you should check it out when we're all done here. It's a really cool stream.
It was such a good panel. It was
worth
so
reviewing.
Good. Yeah, it was.
Also,
there's a lot of good takeaways.
Yeah. Oh man. And yeah, all the entire panel is extremely talented developers, and it's cool to see the insight provided by, like, from the Apollo side and from like the people using Apollo in a very kind of like stakes environment in Twitch, where like they depend on, like, uptime is super important on Twitch, and it's cool to see sort of how they use Apollo in that kind of environment. So worth checking out. Pop it open in another tab. Also, we don't have this talk up yet, but you were talking about a few topics ago, Marc Andre's blog post about error handling, and it made me think about Sasha Solomon's talk at GraphQL Summit just last Thursday, which we'll surely get into here. But she gave an awesome talk about error handling and treating errors as data in your apps, and it was really cool. So when that YouTube video becomes available, we'll probably mention it again next week when that's on YouTube. But
yeah, absolutely. And I just so I'm gonna try and get where I want to go to it. Grab the URL. Here we go. So that was during day 4. So I'm just gonna drop the whole link to day 4 because day 4 is still on Twitch. So you can actually check it out if you want to go through. If you weren't there, you could check it out. The talks from day 4, so day 1 through 3 are up. Those talks are up and on YouTube. Currently, day 4 will be on there probably by like the end of today. So it's not like you're going to have to wait long if you don't feel like scanning through the full VOD on Twitch. Be ready because it will be on YouTube shortly. Yeah. And actually, I mean, that's a great segue. We should probably go into our recap of week 2. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. No time like the present. So I guess maybe I should bring up like the Summit website, or should we just kind of go through and like talk about the things that we enjoyed? Like, did we need to pull the schedule up? What do you think? What do you think here? Let's pull it up.
Sure, we can pull it up. I think you can keep the. You can pull it up as reference if you want, but I guess I'll just ask you to start it off, Kurt. What if you could pick a couple of highlights of week 2? What stood out to you? I feel like we might have a bit of overlap here, but yeah, I'm curious.
So my 2 things one was a talk, which was Ashi's talk on the future of Federation. It was just such a well put together talk on such a interesting topic for me anyway. Very interesting and very visually.
Shocker there.
Yeah, big surprise. And such a visually well like represented talk. Like, go watch the talk, folks. This one is already up on YouTube. It's called Project Constellation: The Future of Federation. Just, if nothing else, just take a look at the amazing visual effects that she used within the talk. Completely mind-blowing. It was so good. And then I wonder if this is the overlap as well. The second thing that I will mention was the Jamstack panel from the last day. And it was just so good. So it was people coming on talking about kind of like the relationship between the Jamstack and GraphQL, what kind of things people are starting to do with the Jamstack, and like how they're breaking the bounds of like what it was previously. We saw like a lot of people, of course, creating like content heavy sites on the Jamstack, but it's being pushed well beyond that, well beyond those bounds now. And it's becoming a very prolific platform for building, or framework for building apps, not just static sites, right? But like static based applications. Like, I don't really know how else to put it. They're dynamic apps. There's a ton of communication happening between the back-end services, whether that's serverless or a dedicated server doing things and stuff. But like the pages themselves are being served statically from CDNs, which eliminates a lot of issues that you face with scaling, with overhead, with getting things out into the world, because you might be concerned about having to scale them properly. And I think the combination of Jamstack and serverless and GraphQL creates this beautiful developer experience that requires little information around things like DevOps and stuff like that to build something that could handle going viral and just gaining thousands upon thousands of users. We take a look at like Pokemon Go, which is, yes, it's a game and a different use case, but when that took off, man, the first couple weeks were terrible. Like they were putting out fires like left and right. I read some of the articles and it was just like, wow. But yeah, it's like, things like that, like serverless and Jamstack can help eliminate those problems. So it was very cool. And those would be my two takeaways.
Nice. I just kind of piggybacking on that. I really enjoyed this moment in that panel where it was towards the end of the panel. It's on day 4. The link is in chat if you want to rewatch it. I would highly recommend checking it out. But there was a moment in there where Jason was listing off all of the like the products and services that people use on a regular basis. Yeah. That are all built on the Jamstack, like the Starbucks app. When you I don't know, like redeem your airline or whatever, like I don't know, but just app after app that people are accustomed to using in their daily lives. Yeah. All built on the Jamstack.
Yeah. What was it? It was like really cool. Peloton.
That's it. Like like the actual like screen on your Peloton.
Yeah, it's a static site.
Own one of those.
Yeah, is Jamstack. The menu on some fast food chain, I can't remember which one.
Popeyes
is a Jamstack app. Little Caesars.
Also Tim Hortons if you live in Canada.
Tim Hortons. Yep.
Jamstack.
There was like a bunch of them. Places like you'd be like, oh my goodness, I had no idea, and it was really wild to hear. I'm not seeing your link. I see one YouTube talk, and I believe this is the one to. I'm gonna confirm. This is the one to. Yeah, the Apollo client at Twitch. I don't see the YouTube link to Ashi's talk.
Oh, yeah. No, I couldn't find it on there either.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Maybe day 3 is not up and I spoke incorrectly.
You might be tripping.
I might be tripping. I mean, that's probably, I'm probably tripping.
It's all good. In any case, here, actually, I'm going to do a little bit of finagling here. Check this out. I'm going to go worldwide day 3. I'm going to find Ashi's talk right here.
Awesome. You're going to drop like the time link? That's amazing.
Yes, sir. Hi, everyone. I'm Ashi. Okay. And boom. Share. Timestamp. Boom. There you go. Yeah, there's Ashi's talk. Kurt's other highlight of week 2 GraphQL Summit. My 2, if I had to pick only 2, well, I would first say I thought that the topic rooms week 2 were amazing. I hosted a topic room during week 2 about live streaming on Twitch. It was awesome. I had some great discussions in there, and yeah, really enjoyed the few hours that I got to spend with some other community members and just chat about this kind of thing. And then the other topic rooms were just bumping. There was a few in there that looked like people were really flocking to some of these subjects and I can only assume having a great time talking about these things.
So topic rooms were actually my favorite part of Summit as a whole.
Right?
But yeah, absolutely. Were my favorite part. I was just referencing content that like other people will be able to go and watch because you can't see the topic rooms. They're like gone, but that was my favorite part. Seeing the community have a space to come together, engage, have access to people who you might consider like experts or leaders in different areas of the industry and of GraphQL and other just like of anything really. We just had so many wide-ranging topics that just surround the GraphQL ecosystem. Like I'm so ready to learn Rust. I'm actually starting this week, but like I was in a Rust and GraphQL channel, and I was talking with like Chris Biscardi and Ashley Williams and like a couple other people, and it just got me so hyped. Like I haven't been hyped to learn something new in a while, and now I cannot wait to learn Rust. I'm super excited. And yeah, exactly. And the live streaming one, just having those conversations and like getting to talk about something that we're both obviously very passionate about. It was really cool and really rewarding. So yeah, I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, it was good. I think it's like I've never seen topic rooms pulled off like this virtually, to the extent that they were done here at GraphQL Summit. So I'm so proud of our team for
so proud
for making that happen. It's really, really cool, and excited for the next chance that we get to do something like that with the community. It was really worthwhile.
So amazing. A lot of good learnings. And I actually talked about a lot of this in that blog post that I just referenced before. Maybe I'll grab the link to it one more time in case folks are just joining us and did not get a chance to see it. Let me grab it.
Sure.
But yeah, it's called...
While you grab that,
yeah.
I'll mention my second highlight of week 2.
Yeah.
Had to be Mandy's talk about auth in GraphQL. I really enjoyed it. It was a great end to it was the last talk of the whole conference. I just posted a link in chat with a timestamp to that if you want to check it out. But it was
So
great,
good.
and it was one of those talks that I thought was just like really good content that was accessible. Mandy's a great speaker, a great teacher, and there was a particular moment in the conference where there was a couple people who were new to GraphQL, and this checking out the conference was their first time, the first experience like seeing GraphQL, and during Mandy's talk they were talking in chat saying like, oh wow, like I understand what's going on here, and that was kind of a satisfying moment.
Yeah, she broke it down extremely well, and like it's like, yes, it was about GraphQL, but really I feel like it was just a talk about like authentication and authorization, right? And like, yeah, the implementation happened to be in a GraphQL API, but everything she said is applicable really to any REST APIs as well. So
yeah, so that would have to be my second, and an honorable mention, if I may, to the GraphQL in production panel on day 3, and a particular short-lived cameo by my friend Kurt Kemple here. That was just a hilarious, and the panel itself was awesome, but
the panel was awesome,
as well as it was punctuated by this unexpected. A wild Kurt appears.
Appears in place of in place of Apollo CTO Matt, right? That was hilarious, yo. So what happened was I joined the wrong Zoom at the right time, and I ended up putting myself onto the live panel in place of Matt, and then noticed it, and you get to see my reaction on screen as my jaw dropped, and I realized what it was. And then I've never exited a Zoom meeting so fast in my whole life. Like, I knew exactly where the leave button was. I got out of there, but I was sweating profusely. It was seconds. It felt like an eternity once I realized I was on there. Like, I felt like it took me a minute and a half to exit that Zoom meeting.
It was pretty special moment.
It was a pretty special moment, and the best part is that panel's going on to YouTube, which means that moment will live on,
immortalized
forever. Ugh.
I love that.
I do. I love it as well. That was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so go watch the panel. If you just, oh my goodness, there we go. You dropped the tweet in there. Yeah, so if you know what, let's just pull it up. Let's just bring it up. I don't,
Sure.
why not, right? So flip this
Ooh,
over.
yeah.
Oh, why'd you open over here?
Comedy is a nice, healthy thing to have
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. So let me.
in any developer conference.
Yeah, so here it is. Here's the panel. Boom, there I am. I flip in. Wait for it. I don't know yet. Now I know. Now I know. And boom, I'm gone. That second between the jaw drop and me actually leaving was like one of the longest seconds of my life. We'll let it go one more time so y'all can enjoy that. Oh my God. Oh, just watching it is making me have sweats. That's hilarious. Yeah, good times, folks. So, yeah.
Absolute good times.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and I would say, yeah, like that's my biggest my biggest takeaway from Summit, I think too, is just like I love that we didn't just try to like take an in-person event and move it into the virtual world. A lot of thought and care went into thinking about what was important to get out of the event, and then just like going from the ground up from there. Well, how do we do that virtually, right? Like these are the things we know we want to accomplish. How do we do that virtually? And and then again, huge shout out to Demetrius Clark. Huge shout out, because we honestly would not have been able to like build the community within Discord that we did without him. I would have been floundering trying to get this set up. And from everybody's responses to the survey, from conversations that I've heard, the content was amazing, but what people really loved was how engaging this event was, and how like, just like it wasn't just like trying to slap a conference online and give you a chat channel. Like we really thought about engagement and what that looks like, making a welcoming place, how to accommodate a global audience, how to accommodate sponsors, and what does that look like in a virtual event, because I feel like that's been overlooked in a lot of events, and how to give them a space to have like really show off their company and their culture and stuff. So, a lot of love and care and blood and sweat and tears went into it, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. Of course, we have learnings, and things that we'll switch up for next time, but I'm super proud of us. I thought the job was amazing. I thought it was a great conference.
Me too. And if we're naming names here, we can't miss shouting out our event coordinator, Julia.
Oh my goodness.
Julia Black, Peggy Raises.
Oh yeah.
For and like those two put a ton of work into actually making the event happen at all.
Absolutely.
And the rest of our team as well. I think everybody kind of pulled together.
Everyone.
To make it happen. Yep. But we can't forget those two crucial names if we're gonna be named.
Absolutely, yeah, and you're right. Yeah, if we're gonna name names, yeah, for sure. Like, Julia doing all the organizing and getting everyone connected as far as like sponsors and panelists and speakers, and just like also iStream. Shout out to iStream, which is the production company that we use to produce those amazing streams that we ran. That was so good. They did a fantastic job. Production quality was absolutely top notch. So shout out to them. As you mentioned, shout out to all of the Summit staff. And then lastly, like shout out to the GraphQL community. Like we had a bunch of people come in as topic room hosts, like taking, time and energy out of their days to come in there and hang out with the community, engage with the community, and y'all, the community for just coming and showing up and hanging out with us, right? Like there's no GraphQL Summit worldwide without the community. So,
truly.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm so stoked. It like makes me so happy just thinking about it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be a part of this community and get to hang out with a fine group of folks. In events like this.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that covers it from my side. That covers our list. I'll leave the chat open for a second. If anyone has anything that they want to show that they've seen on GraphQL or something you're working on or something, drop a link in the chat. We'd love to see it. And I'll take a quick second. They've been ticking across at the bottom, but we got some upcoming conferences or conferences. Oh my God, I got conference on the brain. Some upcoming streams that I'm very excited about. Tomorrow we're gonna have Contentful, who also was a sponsor of GraphQL Summit Worldwide. So thank you, Contentful, for that. But so Stefan is gonna come on from Contentful, and we're gonna look at building apps with React, Apollo, and Contentful CMS. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Very stoked for that. Then the next week, next Tuesday, I'm very excited. We're going to be looking at using GitHub Actions to push schema changes to Apollo Studio. So this should be very interesting. Yeah, I'm very excited from that. And so we're going to have
who's coming on for that one?
Yeah, so we got Brian Douglas from GitHub, BWO on stream and on Twitter. He's going to be coming on. Love him. Such a good person. And I'm very excited to, this will be my first time really using GitHub Actions. So I'm very excited. I cannot wait to learn a bit more about that. And then, let's see. And then what else we got? I mean, we've got Orbit, of course, as always. We've got Launchpad coming up. And then, stay tuned because we got some more fun stuff in the works that I'm about to be getting on the calendar. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Quite the runway, Kurt.
It is.
I'm excited to see some of these streams, and you've definitely got a stacked calendar ahead of you.
Yeah, and we got more. So like Graph CMS. So Carlos Rufo from Graph CMS is going to come on. We're going to build out an example of using Apollo client with Graph CMS. We got StockX coming on to talk about how they're taking advantage of federation and a cool thing that they're working on that they're considering open sourcing. So hush, I won't say anything yet. Then we've got Vish coming on from I can't remember if she's at Contentful or Cloudinary. I gotta get all this on the calendar, but we're gonna look at building an e-commerce app using serverless GraphQL, Stripe API, and Gatsby. And what does that look like?
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff in the works. So yeah.
Wonderful.
But that's it. That's all I got, y'all. Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
I think that kind of wraps up everything that we have to talk about today, I think. Is that
is true.
Is that right?
This is accurate. Yes, it is. Yeah, so I mean, I guess we could maybe find someone to raid. I know we gotta jump because we got like 9 minutes left anyway. Maybe we could find someone to raid.
Sure. Let me work on that right here. One sec.
That's what I'm talking about.
Pop open Science and Technology. Let's find somebody who's streaming web development, hopefully. Okay, all right. Well, let's see. We have a this looks fun. Ex-Microsoft dev tries to learn web dev in 30 days. Day 5 of 30.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. Cool. Yeah, that's a.
We've got somebody building their slides for an upcoming talk.
Oh, that's cool.
That could be cool. And option number 3, Vino0244, building an MMO social experiment.
Ooh, all 3 of those sound interesting. I don't know which one I would pick.
Well, I'm going to leave it up to you. Unfortunately, you're going to be the one picking, Kurt.
All right, let's do learning web dev. I feel like that's an experience that everyone can relate to. Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. Someone just dropped in with that follow. We appreciate it.
J3B1.
Awesome.
Sounds like a droid name.
That's awesome.
Thank you for the follow. Also, GR360R, Bob and Eric 2000, MGK Luck. Thank you guys for the follows. thank you everybody for joining in today's stream. It was a good one.
It was a good one.
Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm just gonna set up this raid.
Yeah, let's do it. And so you get to kick it off, right? You get to do, like, it'll just go?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yep. It'll go when we're ready. We can say our goodbyes now, and then we're off.
Awesome. Let's do it. Goodbye, everyone.
Peace out, guys. Have a good Monday.
See you later.